Okay.
Don, I received a photo from a reporter. It was a very disturbing photo, actually. And in the photo, it showed a live animal that looked like it was being euthanized. And there were other animals that appeared to have already been euthanized, and they were all in the same area. Do you remember that photo? I sent you a copy of it.
Yeah, Rita, I do remember that. It was a very disturbing photo. When you sent it to me, I pulled it up on my computer screen, and it was a fuzzy photo. I couldn't really tell a lot about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I printed it out to try to get an idea of what was actually in it. And if I remember correctly, it was date stamped February 2010.
Yes.
But when I printed it out, I could look at it, and it did appear to be our shelter. And so I immediately called the shelter management in, and I showed him the photo, and I said, it looks like it was taken in early 2010. But we've got to make sure that this doesn't happen. We've got to do everything that we can.
Right.
To fix this.
Right.
And so we talked about different things, and what we decided to do immediately was to go through a retraining on staff.
Good.
We've had some contract workers come in, and we just felt like we needed to pull everybody in and get everybody on the same page. And so the Shelter Operations Administrator made copies, hard copies of the Texas Administrative Code as it relates to euthanasia. Mm-hmm. And the managers met with all of them. They gave each person a copy of it, and they went through the code item by item. And so they discussed every one of the requirements of the code, mm-hmm. and they asked staff if they had any questions or concerns or anything like that. They were also concerned that they might be in a situation where they didn't have their hard copy, so they gave them the electronic link to the code so they could access it that way as well.
Okay, so you had everyone go through the training regarding the code. You made sure they had a hard copy of the code. You provided a link to the code in case they didn't have it handy. Mm-hmm. And then you made sure that they understood the code. Is that correct?
That's correct. And I should probably provide you with some background information about euthanasia training. The state of Texas requires that people that do euthanasia in animal shelters be certified. And there's a certification class that they have to take. And the initial class is a day and a half, so it's a very comprehensive, in-depth class that covers the laws and other things. And then there's a recertification class that they take periodically that's a half-day class that covers the high points. So every person in the Harris County shelter that performs euthanasia has been through those certification classes and is currently certified to perform animal euthanasia.
Okay, that's great. Did you speak with them about the importance of adhering to the code?
Yes, they understood. We went over we went over the importance of it. We went over the importance of if there's something that you need to let your supervisors know. And I can tell you, I have met with staff personally, and we are all committed to obeying the law. Certainly. And to holding each other accountable for doing it the way the law requires that it be done.
Okay, that's good. That's very good. But I guess I'm curious, did you do anything else?
Well, I met with, again, the managers, and I said, so what are the challenges? What are the things that staff need? Mm-hmm. And frankly, our biggest challenge is the design of our shelter. And I'll just try to, it's kind of hard, but I'll try to paint you a picture of what it's like. Okay. So if you're in our lobby and you walk down our main hall, when you get to the end of that hall, you're coming to our unloading dock. You're facing the unloading dock. Right to the left of the unloading dock is what we call the receiving holding area. Okay. So it's right next to that. And that's the area where all of the animals that come into the shelter are triaged. Basically, they're given an examination. They're decided what pen they're going to go in, if they need a veterinarian to look at them. So it's a congested, busy area. So you have that. That's also the same area where animals are held pending euthanasia. Okay, so
Okay.
you've got your unloading dock, you've got the receiving holding area. Then right behind that receiving holding area, but next to the euthanasia room, I'm sorry, next to the unloading dock is the euthanasia room. So the only door in, you have to walk through that receiving area to get into the euthanasia room, and that's the only way out. There's only one door in and out.
Okay.
So that area is very, very congested, and it makes it very difficult to keep the euthanasia room door closed such that animals that are being received that day and animals that are being held pending euthanasia can't ever see into that room. So that was a challenge that we identified. And so what we did is we got a spring-loaded bar like you would get for a closet, and we installed a curtain on that bar, and we put that across the doorway. So it acts as a privacy screen. So that curtain is always closed. So if you have to walk through the door, you kind of walk around the curtain to get in and out of the euthanasia room. So you always have a visual barrier there for the animals that are being received or the animals that are being held pending euthanasia in that area.